Welcome to Pitchside. Now, it's an interesting encounter that we're looking at because Lahore Qalandars, it's a must-win game for them. They haven't been able to win so far. They've had their share of problems and they've got a chance to redeem themselves, and they are up against Multan Sultans, who won 4 out of the 5 games that they've played. They're looking really good, their bowling is looking good, and they've got men at the top who've been scoring runs. All in all, it should be a fabulous game because we saw them in that last year's final as well. They're the finalist of the last year's HBL Pakistan Super League. Now I've been joined by Waqar Yunus and Ian Bishop. Waqar, Lahore Qalandars, you know, the crowd here in Lahore deserves at least one win before we move on to the next venue.
Yeah, I mean, last game here at Lahore, so, you know, they do deserve that. I mean, it's been tough going for not only for the team, but the Lahoris also. They have come in numbers. They really supported their team, but unfortunately, Lahore couldn't really pull a victory yet. But they're not out of it. If they start winning from here on and play good cricket, who knows where they're going to end up.
Speaking of good cricket, Multan Sultans has been playing a lot of good cricket and they've managed to win 4 games. What have you liked about them overall, that when you look at that team, that squad?
Yeah, I would say, and this will surprise no one, that I like the bowling, and particularly the fast bowling, with Muhammad Ali bowling well. Abbas, unfortunately, isn't in the squad tonight, neither is David Willey. But I still think that is the thing that has carried them this season so far. Unfortunate for the injuries. Their batting could be a little bit better. Rizwan and Hendricks have been very good for them.
They have been really good, and we had the toss earlier on today as well with Ian Bishop, with the 2 captains, and Multan Sultans won the toss and they decided to bat first because this is what their strength is. This is what we heard from Mohammad Rizwan speaking in his interview as well. Shaheen Shah Afridi, surprisingly, also said that he would have liked to bowl first in these conditions. Multan Sultans then, you know, looking at their side, there have been a couple of changes. A lot of their foreigners are not playing today because they're injured, so there was an approval from the technical committee to include some replacements, and you've got Faisal Akram and Shahnawaz Dahani from their side stepping in for them. Bish, what do you make of this lineup?
Yeah, well, it'll be a little bit of a patchwork. It's not going to be their strongest side because they're going to miss David Willey, who's been excellent for them with the ball in hand. But again, I'm happy that I get the opportunity up close and personal to see Muhammad Ali, and of course Reza Hendricks has been going very, very well for them. And then their power hitting down that lower middle order there with Kusdil Shah and Iftikhar and those guys has been impressive at times, but more is required.
Muhammad Ali is also somebody who we will be talking about later on in the studio. But Lahore Qalandars, lots of players who've done well in the past for them, but not so this year. Speaking of somebody like Fakhr Zaman, he's been one of their main players. They've made a couple of changes as well. It's a must-win game, Waqar. They have to come out and deliver.
Yeah, Fakhr has been a disappointment so far. I mean, Farhan and Venadusan, I mean, they are the 2 who are doing bulk of the work for them when you talk about their batting. And it's also their bowling, don't forget. They have issues with their bowling. The lengths are not right. They're just pushing the lengths. They're not really trying to bowl good overs. They're trying to pick up wickets, and in that they're leaking too many runs. And the changes they made, they brought the spinner, the Linde comes back, and I think that will make a big difference. And I'm good to see Kamran Ghulam back in the side. He's a very busy player, and hopefully he can really put up a good show. So, you know, it's a tough one. They really have to play a lot better cricket to really inspire this crowd also and inspire us also.
The South African boys seem to be having a good time in the HBL Pakistan Super League. You've got Rassie van der Dussen, but Reza Hendricks from Multan Sultans is also somebody who's added that stability in the middle order for Multan Sultans.
Absolutely. I've long admired his game as a wonderful touch player. He's not a power player, but he's a good touch player. Sometimes at international level, he doesn't get as much opportunity as I think he should. because of the battle for places. But I'm glad to see that he can bring that solidity at the top. And Rassi the other night, the thing that impressed me most, usually he comes in and he takes his time to get going. He couldn't afford to do that the other night. He was brilliant.
He was absolutely brilliant. And, you know, on Multan Sultans, one of the things that we always talk about why they've done so well is because they've been so well led by somebody like Mohammad Rizwan. You look at his captaincy, he just seems very switched on, Waqar.
Yeah, they always sign up, you know, a captain who's always wise. I mean, Shan Masood has done it in the past also, and now this time they've given the buck to Rizwan, who's a very sensible cricketer behind the stumps, and he sees everything what's going on with the bowlers, and he helps them out a lot, and he's very good in taking DRSs, and all these small things matter. And they were playing at home, don't forget. I mean, this is the first time they've come out of their comfort zone, and we just can't wait for them, for us to see what they're made of. Can they really deliver the same over here at Lahore? We've got to wait.
Bish, you like talking about bowlers, so I'm going to talk about Shaheen Shah Afridi with you. His own performance, how do you evaluate it so far? Is there any room for improvement? Did you like him in the last game?
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten better. I thought he started the tournament slowly, and he's gotten a bit better, and there's always room for improvement. I think attention to detail will be something with his bowling, using the angles and dimensions of the field a little bit more, but I think his game is in solid enough order now. What he wants is the guys around him, Zaman and those guys, everyone to bring their game together and try to get other guys more involved. I think that's a big thing for me.
Are we going to see Sikandar Raza at all in action today, Waqar? Because he's just, there is this conjecture that he's been underutilized.
I hope so. I mean, they haven't really used him that well. The guy is in such good form. Just recently at the IL T20, he was the best player of the tournament, and not using his bowling, and even when it comes to batting, sending him at at a number where the game is more or less lost. So I feel that when you don't have Rashid Khan, when you don't have David Wiese, use him. He is your man, and I think he brings energy to the team, and he of course is a match winner.
All right, we'll have to see how they utilize Sikandar Raza today, because definitely he's been the man in form for them. Qalandars definitely need some form going into this one, and I'm sure that all the fans that will be coming out there, they'll be hoping for a Lahore Qalandars win as well. Sikandar Raza is somebody we're all looking forward to be seeing in action today. Shaheen Shah Afridi rallying his troops around, hoping for a win. All of that action on the other side, so don't go anywhere.